Good morning, YouTube! How are you this morning? I am still in Gerald, Texas. A very wet Gerald, Texas. It started to rain again last night around, I think it was about 3:30 in the morning. There was a huge clap of thunder that woke me up, and the rain was pitter-pattering on the roof. After we talked yesterday, I was sitting around thinking of what to do and waiting for my video to upload to YouTube. By the way, if you're ever at the Gerald, Texas Flying J, the fake Flying J, remember the fake Flying J, don't even bother to get their internet. Don't even bother. It sucks. Unless you're sitting in the Denny's or standing in the convenience center, you're not guaranteed a connection of any kind. I spent half my evening fighting just to watch a couple of vlogs on YouTube. And I finally gave it up as a bad job. Sorry, Dale. Sorry, Allie. A couple others. So, after we talked, I got my video uploaded, and then just as I was getting ready to walk over to the Mexicano Grill, which is the name of that restaurant, Mexican restaurant behind me, I got a message for a load. Yay! It picks up just down the road, well, 50 miles away. But this is Texas. That's just down the road. People drive farther to go to the grocery store. To pick up a load of marble, taking that to Oklahoma City. And I asked my fleet manager, I said, what about home? You know, they said we have loads every day in Oklahoma City coming to Texas. And it's Friday's loads will deliver Monday or Tuesday. So I should be able to get to the house. The only dilemma, I think, is I want to get up there tonight. And I'm going to have to call them later. The dispatch information says they have overnight parking. But I'm going to call them later and check to make sure. If they don't have overnight parking, then I will have to find a truck stop nearby, and the nearest truck stop is 10 miles away. That's not too bad, but this is a short run, so any extra mileage is going to kill my PFP. I think the total is 442. And since I had to come up here to Gerald, that adds 32 miles already, if they count that. Not sure. Probably. So I'm already out of route already. Because 10%, 442 miles is, well, 44 miles. So I'm already out of route. But I wasn't completely out of route on the two last ones. I mean, I didn't eat up the whole 10%. You're always going to be out of route to a certain extent because they pay zip to zip as opposed to hub or practical miles. If they paid address to address instead of zip to zip, since I follow their exact routing or the most legal routing I can get, I would probably rarely ever be over. But cool. Well, he said that there should be something. And if I find out tomorrow there isn't anything and I have to wait till Saturday to get a load, I'm not going to be happy. I like Maverick so far, I'll be honest, and I understand up front that I'm not going to get home every weekend. I'm not going to get home every weekend. And I understand Maverick needs to make $1. I need to make $1 too. But I was promised that they would route me directly home as fast as possible after orientation. Almost 3,000 miles is not as fast as possible. So, getting ready to do my pre-trip on this trailer. I'm supposed to drop it and pick up a loaded. I'm hoping it'll be loaded when I get there. And I don't want to mess around. and then get out of here. It's raining as far as Dallas, and then I need to stop north of Fort Worth to buy fuel. I got just under half a tank. I should be able to get there, no problem. I might stop in Robinson, which is outside of Waco, and buy fuel. I don't know yet. I'll see. I haven't really gotten down how this truck operates. It's really going to depend on how heavy that marble is. I will have to stop and weigh it somewhere. I might just stop back here. The problem is that this Flying J is hideous. The fuel pumps are constantly backed up. So, we will see how the day goes. Hello again, YouTube. It's about noon, and I'm here at the marble place. I was told that it would be a preloaded trailer, which kind of made me happy. But got here and found out that it is a live load. So, I get to keep my beast of a trailer for a little while longer, it would seem. It's not a bad trailer, just that extra 5 feet. I know you're probably tired of hearing me complain about it, but that extra 5 feet makes a big difference on the splits, in my opinion. There are probably other flatbedders out there that pull 53s. I know a buddy of mine named Gary who pulls a 53, and he doesn't seem to mind. I mind. But it took me about an hour and a half to get here, to go 47 miles, I think it was. And this place is on the southwest side of Austin, deep in the hills. It's actually at the bottom of a set of hills. So getting out of here is going to be a chore. This route, just right off the bat, is going to be kind of super out of route, just because where this place is. And to get back, I have to go south to go north. Kind of like the, prophecies from Game of Thrones. To go north, you must go south. Go east, you must go west, etc., etc., etc. So, going to be here a little bit. There's another Maverick here, trainer with his student, and they are picking up. And I know how to secure slabs, but I'm going to watch them do it. Make sure that what we went over in class is the same as what they're really doing. One thing I do know is I do not have to tarp. Yay! And now that the rain has moved out, it should be a good drive going up if it drives out. So we will have to see. Good evening, YouTube. Or should I say good night? It's about 10:15 in the evening, obviously. It's dark outside. And I'm in Ardmore, Oklahoma, at the Flying J. And I'm parked in one of my customary reserved parking spaces. I've had a few people ask about doing that. Basically, if you know you're going to be at a particular spot, or you want to be in a particular spot, and you want to make sure that you're going to get a parking space, if I'm going to get here to a place after 3 p.m., I'm going to go online to pfjpark.com and reserve me a parking space. Almost all the pilots and all the Flying J's, not all of them, but almost all of them. There's very few that do not have reserved parking available. You do have to pay for that reserved parking spot. It's $12 plus tax, and the sales tax is based on the state and the city that Flying J is in, or pilot. In my opinion, when this day and age, with parking being the problem that it is for big trucks, paying for a parking spot in advance and knowing you're going to have one when you get there is infinitely preferable to getting somewhere and there not being a place for you to park and you're out of hours. It's also infinitely better than going to a place where you might be able to get a spot, but you're going to pay for it anyway when you get there. It's like some inner city truck stops, like the TA in Dallas. Now I'm not sure if they still do it, but you used to have to pay like $20 a day to park, or buy a full tank, by 100 gallons or something like that. There's still a lot of truck stops that make you, if you buy fuel, then you get a free spot. If you don't buy fuel, you have to pay. And a lot of the big inner city ones do. I know Dallas does. There's one in New York, a couple in New York that do. A lot of the ones on the East Coast do. Well, that's been my experience in the past. So I'm in Ardmore, and I'm actually going to be going home tomorrow from here. What happened was I was sitting at the shipper earlier, and they actually did end up loading another trailer that was already dropped there, and I was just supposed to hook up to that one, pull it out, drop mine in its spot, hook back up to that one, and drive off. However, things didn't work out that well. There, like I said, there was another Maverick truck there, a trainer and a student, and they hooked up to their preloaded trailer, and we're going to drive off with it, and found that the crank on the landing gear was broken. The rod that goes between the legs was snapped in the middle, and it wouldn't, neither side would go up. Or I think maybe one side would go up and the other one wouldn't. I don't know. Well, instead of them pulling out and me dropping my trailer in that door and getting loaded, what they did was, while they had to call a service company to come out and work on the trailer. Their solution was just take the landing gear off altogether and put it on the deck. And the truck was going through Little Rock anyway, so it was a benefit, but it still took like 2 hours. And in that time, they decided to go ahead and load my load onto a trailer that was already in the dock. And that took them about an hour and 45 minutes or so. And during that time, I had to take all the stuff out of my trailer, my tarps, my wood, and everything else, and put it on the new trailer, which was fine. It was tough work. And while we were doing that, luckily for me, the trainer in that other truck, and I can't remember his name, and I apologize to him if he ever sees this video, and his student helped me get all that stuff moved. They even helped me re-roll the 2 lumber tarps that were on my truck, because I rolled them back up the way they were when they were on the truck, and they were incorrect. Basically, I forgot to fold the outer leaves a 3rd time, because I'd done them the way they were originally, and that was only twice, and then they're supposed to be folded again, so it goes into a more compact space. And they kindly refolded those 2 tarps for me, helped me move all my stuff from one trailer to the other, and for that I'm appreciative. So after all that was done, I was going, and I got my load. I was pulling out. I parked my trailer because I needed to take a 30-minute break. It had been 5.5 hours since I'd started. I figured I'd go ahead and get my 30 out of the way so I could drive all the way to Oklahoma City without stopping, or without having to take another break, other than doing load checks and maybe stop to use a little trucker's room. Unfortunately, when I was looking at my logs, I noticed that I only had 11 hours available on my 70. And I got to thinking about that. It was going to take roughly 7.5 to 8 hours to get to Oklahoma City. And once I got there, even if I pulled up to where the shipper is, and they're supposed to have overnight parking, but it's actually on the street in front of the place. Once I got there, I'd only have 3 hours left to drive or work. And there's no way I could unload, put all my garbage away, and then get home. And while I was sitting there figuring that out and typing, I sent a letter, my message to my fleet manager saying, hey, if I take this load up there, I'm going to have to reset in Oklahoma City because I have X number of hours left. And when I'm done, I'm only going to have a couple of hours. But the response I got back was like 5 minutes later was another load plan. It was a plan to pick up another load after I'd finished it, a pre-plan, to go drive 2.5 hours to one place to load and then deliver
in Houston on Monday morning. I guess that was the planner's thought of, okay, I go get this, I go drive to Houston, I can stop at the house, overnight, Friday, Saturday night, leave Sunday morning to head down to Houston, deliver at 6 a.m. That wasn't going to work. He finally got back to, he's finally read my message and said, hey, let me see what I can do about it. And then he called me about an hour later, and I was driving down the road, and he said, hey, I've got a guy who's delivering close to Ardmore. He's going to come meet you in the morning, tomorrow morning, Friday morning, and you're going to take his empty and go home, and he's going to take your load and deliver it. And, I was like, sweet! Because he said that I'd already been out 3 weeks, and if I didn't make it home this weekend, it would be another week. And that that's a month, and it's not acceptable to him. So kudos to him, because he believes it's unacceptable for a driver that that's supposed to be home weekly to be out a month. So I'll be going home tomorrow morning. I believe his name is Jeremy. He called me earlier and told me his plan. He was going to meet me tonight and do the swap, and I would deliver his load, but I told him that I don't have the hours to even deliver a load. So he's going to deliver his, so he can make the full weight, then he can deadhead over here. It's like 40 miles or something, and pick up my trailer and then drive it up to Oklahoma City and deliver it. And I guess he can work his way home to Maybank, Texas. That's what he's choosing to do. I don't know if he's USA or Southwest like I am or whatever. So that's where we stand. And this video for today is longer than it should be, but I wanted to explain about what had happened and how I'm getting able to go home. And I'm very, very happy, and so is my wife and my stepson. Both of them are. Matter of fact, my stepson is very happy that I'm coming home this weekend. Apparently, he misses me. I know my wife does. So, with that said, I want to make one comment about Maverick. Another, I like this part. I've noticed over this last week, driving from Gary into South Carolina, then down to Georgia and back to Texas and up here, that every time I've stopped at a shipper or receiver, I've seen a Maverick truck. And when I've seen a Maverick truck or trucks, those drivers have actually every time gone out of their way to come say hello to me and introduce themselves. Either I guess they don't recognize me, or they're just being friendly, the Maverick way. And that's great. I've worked for other trucking companies, and I never see that. I guess if they know each other, they'll talk to each other. Or if I've known drivers at other companies that I've worked at, I'll talk to them. But there's not been that, hey, I don't know that guy. He works for the same company I work for. I'm going to go say hi to him. And that is really cool. The other thing is that when I drive down the highway and I see another Maverick truck coming at me, I have yet to be beat. I've been beaten every time on flashing my headlights on my markers and waving to other drivers. They always beat me to it. I guess maybe I'm not seeing them quick enough or whatever. That's cool too. I did work for another company that we always waved at each other most of the time, back when I first started. But they went away. And I think it went away mostly because most guys are just so tired all the time from all the hard running edge of the rules kind of stuff, that people were just weary. And but then again, we'd see each other for a long time because we drove so damn slow. I mean, the trucks were governed at 59, and most guys only drove 55. So, because the fuel mileage was so harped on. I mean, they required you to get 6, and the trucks would barely get 5.5 fully loaded, got downhill. So, my first week at Maverick has been kind of hectic and kind of rough because I've been stressed about not getting home, but it's been a good week. And I'll talk a little bit more about that when I get home tomorrow for tomorrow's vlog. However, if I don't make a vlog tomorrow, you'll know why. Because I just didn't do it. I plan on really doing it on nights that I sleep on the road. So, I guess that's it. Long video. Hopefully it's been informative. Hope they all have been. Hope you've enjoyed the last 3 weeks. I have. I've enjoyed making these videos. And I plan on making more. So take a moment. Click subscribe. Follow me. And listen to my inane chatter over stupid stuff. And what I do each day. And there's other videos to come. Including entertainment on the road that doesn't involve internet porn. Which seems to be the topic of choice for a lot of truckers. I don't need that. But, so, you have a good evening. I'm going to hop inside the huddle house and grab something small to eat because I'm kind of hungry. And then I'm going to go to bed. So, keep the shiny side up. 73s. And we'll talk again. Good night.